Hello, my name is Kristin Helms, and I am the author of the piece titled Unraveled and Awake. The flowers have come to taunt me, all bustling and free in these sweet winds of spring. I'm a jealous fool. Head pressed against the window, I open my mouth and breathe heavy on the glass, then write my name in the fog. All at once, the letters fade and my eyes appear. Don't bad things happen in threes? I count my recent misfortunes, offer patterns for sense, but it's hard to make shapes in this darkness. We're fine, I tell my mother, I tell my friends, I tell myself. I prove it by littering my Instagram with photos of our smiling faces, the kids swimming, memes about sanity and banana bread, more swimming. Are we fine? Trauma takes years to manifest in a soul. It has to sink way down into the bones and spreads like a virus by way of veins, heart, brain. My past traumas have come out to play in this new stillness, the silence of it all, a breeding ground for remember ones I've tried to forget. The throned villain herself, anxiety, has taken this opportune moment to rise up and light a match. All my uncertainties like kindling wood, I go up in flames. My dreams become a highlight reel of everything I've ever boxed away and shoved into the attic space of my mind for later sorting. Now a gut-wrenching motion picture with vibrant colors. Each morning I jolt upright, gasping for air. Is this my unraveling, or am I finally awake?
Kristin, you tap into something that I think so many people are feeling during this pandemic, which is we have kind of a different sense of time and the ability to think more about things that are going on. And so as a writer, what does that do for you?
You know, at first it stunted me. I couldn't write anything. I think 'cause my mind was so loud. But then, you know, after a while, after I kind of let things settle and kind of sink into my soul, then I just started writing a ton. It was, you know, kind of fuel for exploring the moment, really.
And this is called Unraveling and Awake. So did you find eventually some sort of silver lining to this pandemic?
I did. The first kind of part of the essay, it's all about the unraveling. You know, everything kind of happened at once, and I was going through some personal health issues when the pandemic hit. So it just felt really heavy in the beginning. Excuse me. And I remember specifically there's a scene, and it's in the essay, when my daughter comes running in with a ladybug that she rescued from the pool, and it was like this light switch where I thought, you know, within this void might we be gaining something too. You know, the kids are so in tune to the present moments now, they're noticing like a tiny little ladybug in the pool. And you know, I started looking at it from a different lens, I guess, of, you know, what are we learning in these moments? How is this transforming us? And are we, you know, all the stuff that we're also gaining while we're losing as well.
And for this story, did you decide on this idea and this approach to it when this Decameron project came up, or is this something you'd been mulling over for a while beforehand?
You know, it's funny, you know, as I mentioned, I couldn't write in the beginning when everything first hit, but I wrote one line and it just said, is this my unraveling or am I finally awake? And I have it scratched in my notebook. And I thought, you know, I'll write about this later. And so when I saw the call for submissions for this, it was like a light bulb, you know, oh, I, I have this opportunity to kind of explore that one thought. So I had the inkling of the thought, and then I just explored it when the call for submissions came out for this.
And what does it feel like to be part of this project where you are one voice among many commenting on this unique time that we're in right now?
Oh, it's so amazing. I've been going through and reading all of the essays, and I'm just blown away by, well, first of all, the talent of the authors here in San Diego, but also just how everyone's stories are so different. And that really goes to show, you know, each person has really dealt with the pandemic in their own way, and it's affected them uniquely. And just to gather all these stories under one project and one, ultimately the book that's going to come out, is just so amazing. And what a great snapshot of this moment.
And is there also something about the fact that even though all these stories are very different and everybody has different reactions, is there something that ties everyone together through this current pandemic, and then also tying it back to the original Decameron, where you have people centuries ago dealing with a very different kind of pandemic, but also trying to survive in difficult times?
Absolutely. As humans, we're all survivors, right? So we all, our natural instinct is to adapt and survive. So, a lot of the stories are about transformations and adaptations of what's going on around us. And, it's unique, and it goes back to the previous Decameron project too, where people are exploring, it's out of our hands. It's something that we can't control, but we're all in it together. So it's just a really unifying, like when you think about it that way, it's a really unifying topic. Even though we're experiencing different things in it, it's still this umbrella of, it's all affecting us in some way. So.
And talk a little bit about your writing process during this pandemic. Has it changed from when it first started a year ago to where we are now?
Absolutely. Well, I think for me personally, because my kids we're home a lot more, it's really cut into my writing time. So that's been difficult to kind of carve out new, periods of time for myself. Um, but also it's, like I couldn't write for a while because I'm a person who writes in my head a lot before I actually put it on the paper. So I had to kind of collect my thoughts a lot on the present moment and what does this mean and how is it affecting my voice and my tone and projects moving forward. And so for a while I just like collected all and then eventually just comes spilling out of me. And that's what kind of happened with this essay is, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was writing this all along and kind of like picking up the lessons from life, our new life as we were going. And then it just kind of spilled out onto the page when the call for submissions came out.
And do you think the pandemic has changed the way you write in any way?
I think so. I don't know. And I don't know if I just haven't realized how it has changed it yet. I think probably like a year or two from now, looking back, I'll probably see like a pivot point of, I've always written like sort of inspirational type of stuff. I have a poetry book out, and it kind of, so I talk about deeper issues and deeper like topics about overcoming and things like that. So that's not new for me. But I do think, I'm way more in tune to the small things of life now, and not so concerned with kind of like the surface level stuff. So that has to be impacting my writing. And I think it will definitely continue moving forward.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for talking about the Decameron project.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.